welcome back to another video, and today we're going to do something new, and me and Batwing are going to talk about Marvel versus DC. Now before we start, Marvel and DC are both very successful companies, and I respect how long they've been around, and I know that they have their ups and downs, and we're just going to be talking about how well they do in certain points in their kind of general work, the things that they do. Now, I understand that they have their ups and downs, and I understand that a lot of you think that Marvel is better than DC, and DC is better than Marvel, and I respect that you that you enjoy what they put out. And personally, Batwing is a DC fan, I am a Marvel fan. However, that doesn't stop Batwing from liking Marvel stuff, and that doesn't stop me from liking DC stuff. So, please don't be mad about any of the things that we say. Both of us agree on all the things that we will be saying in this video. So don't rage at us, okay? Some of the stuff you might disagree with, but personally, me and Batwing think that this is true. Okay? So, first topic. Comic books. So, both Marvel and DC are comic book things, comic book companies at heart. So, Batwing will talk about that while I do stuff on this. So, yeah, Batwing, you may talk now.
So, hey guys, and DC has, it's basically the old school comic company. I mean, their stories are very compelling to read and you're very interested in it. And Marvel also has that. There are just these comic strips that are so compelling and that just have so much power.
Here he comes, the king of the rebels.
Just in this one panel. And I would say that both companies do that in both of their comics, and I really like
don't do that.
how they do that. And let's say maybe this wasn't as compelling because the people actually voted this way, but the death of Jason Todd in Batman, that was a compelling moment, but I'm not that sure because people kind of voted him to die.
Even though he came back.
That's not. Yeah, he did come back. And he came back as a great character.
Yeah.
And for Marvel, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man No More. That one comic, so compelling. It's just so good, and all those one moments in comics that makes you go, this is so compelling, and this is just good. And I think both companies do that in their own ways, and I respect both Marvel and DC.
Okay, can I talk now?
Yes.
Okay, so everything he was saying was absolutely right. Both Marvel and DC are very good at comic book writing, and they both have their very they have their very good moments. Like, for example, when basically every single Marvel character died at one time, and then how Batman's plans to destroy the Justice League fell into the wrong hands, and the Justice League basically was destroyed by Ra's al Ghul, I think, right?
I think maybe Ra's al Ghul, maybe the Legion of Doom, I believe.
Well, anyway, they're very good at what they do, and there's not much else we can say about that. And we're not also, we're not gonna be talking about which one is better. We're just gonna be talking about what we feel, how we think about that. So yeah, and also
Like-
now we're okay. So moving away from comics a little bit, and now we're gonna move to TV shows. Okay, here's where shots may be fired. We know that both Marvel and DC have a lot of shows based off their characters, and I know that not all of them are, and like basically none of them are made by Marvel and DC. However, anything that involves a Marvel or DC character is considered a DC or Marvel show, okay? I'm just clarifying that. So, you want to start with DC or Marvel?
We can start with Marvel since I started off with DC last time.
Okay, so yeah, Marvel is very, very good at making shows, and we're gonna start with animation because that's what a lot of Marvel does. So like, let's just like start like basically let's start with like the Avengers. The Avengers has 2 animated series after them, I'm pretty sure. Earth's Mighty Avengers and Avengers Assemble. Both are very good and illustrate a lot of adventures for the Avengers. And some have more characters than others, and I feel like that the Earth's Mightiest Avengers, like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, or
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
sorry, I haven't seen that show in a while. So yeah, like I feel like that one's better just because it went on much longer than like Avengers Assemble did, but also just because like I just feel like it did a better job on pulling off a lot of things, like Ant-Man struggling to figure out what he should do, and like just like a lot of like just conflict between the characters. At one point they disband, and then they come back together to fight a threat that's bigger than them, and then that like it's just like those like those big details that just make it such a good show, because it just shows like they're not just like all out action. Like they actually do show like another side of the Avengers as like emotional depth and that kind of stuff, and I really like respect them for like pulling that off. And like, okay, so I'm gonna move away from Avengers and go to one of their biggest animation like series that's been going on for a really, really long time. Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man has several shows made after him. Some are good, some are bad. I'm not gonna name which ones are good and which ones are bad, but let's just say this: Spider-Man is an amazing character, and his shows are whether they're based off only him or based off him and his like other like superheroes that he's associated with. Like either way, like it's just like Spider-Man is like a very good character that like. And all of his shows, like, it doesn't matter if you're like an adult or a child, it just doesn't matter. You will enjoy the show just because, like, everybody loves Spider-Man. And if you hate Spider-Man, you're a horrible person. Okay, so yeah. And like a lot of his like later shows might have been like hit or miss. But I actually like a lot of his modern shows, like with Spectacular Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man and Web. Okay, so let me talk about how Ultimate Spider-Man went to Web Warriors. I would just like to say, Ultimate Spider-Man when it began was a very, very good show, and I watched it from beginning to end. And then when it transitions to Web Warriors, I don't want to say that it became like bad, but it did lose, like, it like got rid of all the original characters and put new ones in the mix, like, which isn't bad, that's not a bad thing. But I just feel like the way that they did it, like, I know that it's a good show, but like, just me personally, I just feel like it wasn't the best decision in the world. And yeah, also like I know there are other animated shows, but those are like the big like main things right now going on for animation. And Batwing, if you want to say anything about Marvel animation shows, like, go right ahead.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, it was good the first and second season, in my opinion. And then the other ones, when the Web Warriors were introduced, way like a lot of attention from the old group, which was my favorite. And another really good Spider-Man show was Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, that was good. Okay, that's all I have to say. It was good.
Okay. Do you want to move to like DC animation or do you want to go to Marvel live action?
We can go to Marvel live action.
Okay, so also both DC and Marvel have really good live action shows. Okay, just want to say that for the record. Now we're gonna do Marvel. So I don't want to say that Marvel has better live action shows than DC, but I do feel like one of them is much better than what DC has to offer. I know that a lot of you would disagree with this, but I know also a lot of you would also agree with this. One word. Daredevil. Those of you who don't have Netflix probably don't know what I'm talking about right now, but those of you who do know what I'm talking about, you guys would know that Daredevil is one of the greatest superhero shows ever. Just forget the movie for a second. Daredevil the show is one of the greatest shows of all time because it captures Daredevil's emotional, like, just struggle, just straight up just struggle, whether it's emotional, mental, just physical, whatever. It's like it just captures so much about the character that we have never seen before in the movies, in the comics. Like, it just, the way that it like just shows us that it's just so good. It's just so good that you just can't hate it. Sure, maybe the first season was a bit slow, but it still like manages to pull it off so well that you want to keep on going and you don't never want to look away. It's just so good. I know they have other live action stuff like Agents of Shield and like other things like like Luke Cage and like Jessica Jones and Iron Fist and a lot of that stuff. I know they have that stuff too, but I just feel like Daredevil is just the best Marvel stuff ever. And do you want to add anything else on top of that?
I think Daredevil is a very good show, and I finished the whole thing. I'm waiting for season 3 if they're going to make it or if like a team up show is gonna happen before.
Okay, here's the thing that I have about that. Like, if they do it, don't mess it up. Don't try and mess anything up. Keep everything you have. Just throw somebody in there, but don't like have them get involved a lot. Like, I know that's kind of a big thing to say, but just like don't just like try and draw so much attention to this just a supporting character, because Daredevil is just does so good just with that one character. I know they're like yeah, basically. It's just like, if you do that, you're gonna have to risk a lot of stuff, maybe. I don't know, depending on how you go about it, but like, yeah. So, do you want to move on to DC stuff now?
Yeah.
Do you want to start off? Do you want me to start off?
You can start off.
Okay, so animation. Okay, here's the thing about DC with both live action and animation. It has been around forever. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Can we please go back to Marvel Animation? I completely forgot to talk about something. Okay, Marvel Animation. Sorry about this. X-Men. X-Men was good back in the day. Like, back in the 1900s, X-Men was an amazing show. It was like flawless. There was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing bad about the show. Maybe a few things, but overall, it was an amazing show. Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. Sorry. Okay, back to DC stuff. So, DC doesn't, like, animation-wise, their biggest thing is Batman. I don't want to say that their only thing is Batman, but they're just, like, Batman is just, like, what they do best. And you can agree with that, right?
Yes.
Like, I know they have other stuff, but it's just, like, Batman is just Batman. Okay, that's all I have to say. Because just Batman, like, he's just too good because he's been around for so long, and like there's so many adaptations, and I'm not gonna say which one's my favorite because maybe you guys will hate me for saying that. But anyway, like, it's just it's like, yeah, like, just Batman as an animation is just so good. Like, so many adaptations, like Spider-Man, like all of his adaptations are really good. Well, not all of them, but you know, just
a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them are just so good, and some of them have, and especially the ones with Mark Hamill in them.
Exactly.
Like even the animated like movies, which we'll get into later, just like are just so good. So, yeah, and like I know there's other stuff like the Justice League stuff, and those are really good too. Oh, and hold on. Flynn, if you could talk about like those kind of stuff, and then we'll move on to another like thing. Like just talk about Batman and like the Justice League stuff, okay?
Oh yeah.
But stay away from like just talk about those stuff, and then we'll move on to another animation thing, which I'll separate from Batman and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I think Batman has had many interpretations in animation, and most of them are super cool. There's some of them that aren't that good, but it's okay because it's made up for those really good ones. And the Justice League, I just have to say one thing. The Justice League show that was on a couple of years ago, I liked it. Okay? It was my favorite animated interpretation of the Justice League. It was just so cool. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Don't hate, so yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to another DC animation. Teen Titans and Young Justice. Not Teen
Yes.
Titans Go. That is garbage. Nobody wants to see that. But the original Teen Titans was amazing. I watched it beginning to end, and it was one of the greatest shows of all time. And it has the best Deathstroke performance ever. Arrow has Deathstroke? No. Not even close. Sure, like maybe Flashpoint Paradox has Deathstroke? Nope. Slade from Teen Titans is the greatest adaptation of Deathstroke. Hands down. Without a shadow of a doubt. Okay? Enough said.
You guys are good at talking.
Hi.
Hi,
think
I'm
you-
watching your
Kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I spent like 50 minutes trying to get your attention in the text box.
Oh, that was you just spamming the text box.
Yeah.
I don't have it up, dude. I can't like see what you're doing.
Oh my gosh.
You have to
He did a
acknowledge
lot.
me.
Well,
did
can
a
you
lot.
please like just leave, please, so we can
No,
get
I'm
on with
gonna
this?
hear this.
Okay, fine, but don't interrupt or anything, please. Okay, well. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So yeah, Teen Titans was one of the greatest shows of all time, and yeah, now Young Justice. Young Justice is an amazing show as well. I'm not saying which one I like better, but Young Justice was amazing. Even though it only had 2 seasons so far, it still wasn't. It had a good run, and although we already knew who the characters were, it just added so much more to those characters. Maybe we knew more about. Well, yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. You can add more to this, Flynn, please do. Batwing, whatever. It's not like it matters if I say your real name or not.
Yeah, I just think it's super cool. I think Young Justice and the original Teen Titans.
Because Teen Titans Go is just a horrible thing ever. Why? Why would you even try? Just don't try.
Remade it.
Yeah, it even makes fun of themselves. Like seriously, they make fun of themselves on several occasions.
Agreed.
Hey, he agrees with us. We'll take that. I will take that.
Yay.
I will take that, mate. Okay. Okay, please continue.
After you're done with the live stream, I have to ask you questions.
Fine. Okay, please continue, Quinn.
And I just,
Oh my gosh.
one of the best things about Young Justice and Teen Titans was the story, okay? I'm saying the story was
Okay,
good,
hold on. Can I just say
and
something real quick?
Teen Titans doesn't need a story to actually be good.
Yeah, like, it doesn't really, like, it has a story, but it doesn't really have a story. Like, it has, like, a bigger story going on behind what they show you in every single episode, and, like, it only reveals that in, like, short little clips or, like, at the end of the big story, and then it starts a whole another big one, but we'll get, like, yeah, like, it doesn't need to have a story. Like, Young Justice, like, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's dependent on its story, because, like, early on, it doesn't really show that it has a story, but, like, they both don't need a story. Like, Young Justice is a little more dependent on their story, is, like more than, like, Teen Titans. It's just, like, they don't need it because they're good on their own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, please continue. Sorry.
That's basically all I had to say. It was just a really great show, and I don't know why they
Ended it.
rebooted
It's like it's a good, like, at least they have some self-recognition to their mistake. Like, that's good. That's a good start. But, like, fix it. Fix it, man. Like, bring it back. Make another season. I dare you. Like, people will love you if you do that. Just straight up, just come on. We're waiting. We're waiting, man. Let's do it.
You're waiting. You're waiting for what?
Another season of Teen Titans. The original. Jeez. Okay, well, we'll move on to DC live action.
But didn't you remember what it said in one of the Teen Titans Go videos? That Control Freak person ended it. Sorry,
I
just
know.
watched
I
that
know. That's
show.
what I meant, like, for making fun of themselves. Like, they know, like, they have self-recognition that they made a mistake. That's all. Like, that's a good start. But expand on that and, like, actually, like, continue on with Teen Titans and get rid of Teen Titans Go.
No, Teen Titans Go is better.
No, it is horrible. It is a horrible attempt of a reboot.
No, it is. It's better. I can always watch it after school. Like, it's always on.
Yeah.
It's much better.
Whatever, man. You're just saying that. Anyway, like, people will agree with what me and Batwing have to say, man. Like, just... Hey, I know someone who, like, loves Teen Titans Go, but they know that it's bad. They watch it, like, every single day, but they agree with me that it's horrible. It's horrible compared to the what...
Clark?
Yeah, Clark. Clark. He knows it's horrible. Okay, so
Yet
back
he
to
doesn't.
this. Like, it's just... So yeah, that's all we have to say about DC animation. So we'll move on to live action. So DC live action, it started out with Adam West as Batman, and thank you, Adam West, for giving us that performance of just, like, compared to what we have now, it's a bit like, you can laugh at it.
Cheesy.
It's like, it's cheesy. Like, yeah, it's cheesy. Maybe Robin had a few fashion mess ups, but it's just like, it's just Adam West's ability to just deliver those quits with a straight face and just that kind of stuff. Like, but I'll let you, like, talk about DC live action real quick if you want, and then maybe I might expand on what you have to say, or maybe you'll just talk about what we need to talk about. So yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, the live action shows for DC, I think, are really good. Again, what Deadpool said, the 1966 version was cheesy, and the one thing that I thought was, like, you didn't have to do that about the series was Robin's costume, because okay.
Please stop. Just stop.
Because people now just make fun of Robin because of that one costume. And Burt Ward said that he hated wearing the costume.
Well, Adam West Batman, like, sure, it was like basically good for what was at like the time. Like it looked like it looked like it was like ripped out of the comics. But even still, like it's not the best looking Batman. Let's just be honest here. But it stayed true. Like both of the costumes stayed true to to what the comics like looked like, and I feel like they did a good job on doing that. So. Yeah, like, if you want to criticize, like, Robin and Batman from the 60s, just look at the comics. Like, the comics is what encouraged that, so don't hate the costume designers, hate the comics if you want to throw hate at what they look like.
Yes, then I will hate comics.
Like, can you agree with that, Flynn? Like, it stayed true to the source material?
Yeah, they just...
It doesn't matter, Mikey. We've already said it several times.
Yeah, you
over the
Batwing and stuff. You call him Batwing and stuff. This just confuses me. Then
I try, man. I try. It's just sometimes I'm in the moment and I just say his real name. Okay, he's fine with it now. He doesn't have he doesn't have that issue anymore, just because he's accepted it. And I never had an issue with it. So let's just get back to this, okay? Flynn, you can keep on talking about it. So. Please just continue on with what you were saying. Sorry for interrupting.
But what other live action TV shows?
For DC, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl. Just talk about any of them. Just talk about any of them. It's fine. I know what you're going to be talking about, but I'll just let you take this part because I've been talking most of the time. So, go ahead.
All of them are great shows, and me personally, I think I'm enjoying them the most out of...
Can you say that? Can you say that again? Sorry, I couldn't really understand you. You like which one the most?
I think I like Arrow the most.
Oh, okay. Keep on going. I think Mystery Solver 101 feels the same on that.
Well, he might like the Flash better.
No, like I feel like he likes Arrow a lot. Like every single time I go to his house, actually the first few times I went to his house, he kept on asking me to watch it with him. Well, he asked me probably the first time, and then I introduced him to something else. But I feel like he likes it a lot.
Yeah, the first time I was at his house, he played the Flash.
Oh, really? It was the opposite for me. He played the Arrow the first few times I went to his house.
Well, was it before Arrow came out? Or no, I'm sorry, the Flash?
Maybe? I don't know. I don't think so actually. I think the Flash was out. And I'm pretty sure we talked about the Flash actually. Right after he showed me that. But anyway, just keep on going. I think it was because the show was already going on for a while. I just he asked me, "Do you watch the Arrow?" And I just said no because I didn't really watch it at that point. And then he basically introduced it to me, and I started watching it after that.
Yeah, I just really think all of the four shows, Arrow, The Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, it's a good show. It has a bunch of not really known DC characters, which I like.
Oh wait, what is the name of that show? Is it Small Town Smallville? What is it called? Smallville. Yes, yeah, that is a very good show. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I love that show. I completely forgot that it existed, but that's a good show too. If you don't know what Smallville is, that's okay. It's I'm not sure if a lot of people know what it is, but if you don't know what it is, check it out. It's a really good show. I like it personally. I like it. It's one of my favorite DC shows. There's superhero shows in general. It's just really good. I just like it. Sorry.
But before I have to go, because I do have to go in just a minute.
Okay. I
And
can handle
will
the movie
leave it up
part.
to you.
I can handle the
Yeah.
movie part.
Supergirl is also a very, very good show. I watched season 1 on Netflix because I missed it. I tried to record it, but then didn't work for some reason. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And anyways, that's actually gonna do it all for me. I have to go now. Deadpool, I think you got this.
Yeah,
So,
I got this. I got this, man. Don't worry. I won't. Okay, I won't mess this up. I promise.
okay, peace.
Peace. Okay, so that'll be it for the show part, and we'll move on to movies because why the heck not, right? So for movies, I'll start off with DC, because we've been talking a lot about Marvel first, and I want to give DC. I want to put DC in the spotlight real quick. And DC has been longer than Marvel. We'll get more into that later. But while it was like popular like back then, like it was mostly just like the Michael Keaton stuff, and like it was really good. It was really good at the time. It's pretty good up to today's standards too, because it gave an amazing Joker performance by Jack Nicholson and an amazing Batman performance by Michael Keaton, which we talked about earlier. Well, off camera, me and Batwing were talking about that. And yeah, like it was just really good for like what it was, and I personally like really enjoyed it. And when I first watched it, it was pretty good. And like yeah, like and then it like kind of went into Superman and all that junk. Like here's the thing, like I'm gonna like be talking like bad about them a little bit more now since we're going into movies. Like I feel like with the movies wise for DC, like they had good movies. Like they had like the first few movies were good, and then they had like their like I kind of want to say bad movies, so I'm just gonna say like they had like their kind of like bad movies, and we'll like mention those later. And like we'll just talk about Batman like for now, because I've already started, because that's what I've been talking about so far. So with Batman, like they had Batman 1 with like Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, and that was a really good movie, and like everybody liked it. And like then they had like movies like Batman Returns and yeah, like that movie was really good too. Like in my opinion, I thought that movie was really good. And like yeah, like just overall like, and then like there were movies like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever that were just like bad. They were just bad. So yeah, like that's what I would say for Batman. Like they have their good movies like in the past, and like they had their bad movies as well. And then like the Christopher Nolan trilogy came around, and that was like those were amazing. It gave an even better Joker performance with Heath Ledger and like Christian Bale as Batman. Just like that trilogy brought Batman back from Batman and Robin, which I don't like to talk about, but it's a Batman movie, so I have to talk about it because I want to be fair. So like yeah, it's just like there are movies like Batman and like The Dark Knight that make Batman look good, but then there are other movies that are like Batman Forever and Batman Robin that just make Batman feel like you just think about Batman in a whole different way than you would with like other of his movies. Just like, so that's all I have to say about that. And then like with Superman, like Superman 1 and 2, those were like Superman 1 good, Superman 2 good still, like, and then Superman 3 and 4 just like, say with Batman, like there are like movies of Superman that make you think like, oh my gosh, yes, and then there are others where you're just like, oh my gosh, no. Like, and I feel like you guys can agree with that if, like, if those of you who know what I'm talking about, and like, even those of you who don't, just take my word for it. Just so yeah, like that's what I have to say about that. And like, there are also other movies like Man of Steel that are really good, and like Superman Returns, which is kind of bad, and just those kind of things that just, it's just those kind of things that just make us feel bad. I gotta go do something real quick though. I'll be back. Sorry about that, guys, but I'm back now, so let's get back to it. So, like, yeah, like, it's just those kind of, like, where they have their ups and downs, and, like, with, like, movies like Green Lantern 2, and you're just like, I'm just gonna say something that might come off offensive, but we'll talk about it more later on when I get, like, back then, DC was much better than it was now. Like, I don't want to say that nowadays, like, DC is bad. Like, it has its good movies in modern times, but like, it's just like, compared to what they had like back then, it's just not as good. That's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, like, I know they have other movies, and like, right now I am very excited to see like Wonder Woman and Justice League. I really am, and like, I really want to see those movies. But just like, compared to what they have like right now, like, they have their ups and downs. Like, Marvel has that too, which we'll get into in a little bit. And yeah, like, that's all I really have to say about that. Like, and so yeah, and so let's go to Marvel, and we'll talk about some more of that stuff that I said we will talk about later. So let's just, okay, so here's the thing. There was like only one movie that was made in the 1900s that was based off a Marvel character. Most of you probably don't know this. Okay, look. By the way, I'm just gonna say this: any movie that has a Marvel character in it, I am counting as a Marvel movie. Although I know legal barriers with Marvel and Fox disagree with me, for me right now, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. And like, so that movie I was talking about, it's called Howard the Duck. Most of you probably don't know who Howard the Duck is. Let's just say this: it's a Marvel character about a duck from space, I think. I don't know much about the character, but like, it was just like, it had its ups and downs. Mostly it's downs and not enough ups, but it's just bad. It was just a bad movie. Okay, it's like I feel like it was a bad movie. Maybe some people who actually who actually saw the movie may disagree with me, but that's my opinion on that movie. And then like in the 200s, like, Marvel was on its game, like with Spider-Man and Iron Man and the Avengers and Captain America and Thor and Hulk. Like, every single Marvel character just did good on screen, even though not all of them have their own movies. Just with like the Avengers movies, they just like, Marvel is just at its game right now. And it's like, you guys just can't disagree with me right there. Like, just right now, Marvel is just doing very well in the movie industry. And like, with like, just like you can't disagree with, like, the Marvel trilogy, like the Iron Man trilogy. Like, here's like, I'm gonna talk about a big difference, but like the Iron Man trilogy, The Iron Man trilogy does really well together, and like the Captain America movies do really well together, and the Avengers films, and just the Hulk and the Thor movies, like all of them just do go really well together. And that brings me to my closing point in this category. Marvel and DC do very well with movies, and here's the thing: DC movies do very well. Like, although they are in a series, most of them, like a lot of them just do really good on their own. Like with DC, like Batman does really good on its own, and like in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, like The Dark Knight is just really good on its own. Like, even though it's in a trilogy, like it's clear that that was the best. And like with Superman, like even though it was in a series, did really well by itself. And it's just with those movies that really like show like what DC is capable of. And like with Marvel, like it's almost the exact opposite. Like although they have like those movies that do really well, like most of their films are just do really well together. Like with the Iron Man trilogy, like Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 3 are good, and like Iron Man 2, like I still feel like it's okay. It's not as good as the other one, but like they do really well together. And like same with the Captain America movies, like with Captain America: The First Avenger and Winter Soldier, they do really good together in the Thor movies and the Hulk movies. Like although some of them stand out among the rest, it's just like together they just do tremendously. And like the Avengers movies, like those are like one of the like examples. Like Avengers 1 did good on its own, Avengers Civil War did good on its own, Avengers Age of Ultron did good on its own. Like, and like with Deadpool, like although I know it's getting a sequel, just alone it's just a really funny and this really good movie. And that's like DC and Marvel, like they're really good companies, and they do amazing things, and like it's just how they go about doing it is just what makes it so good. And that's where this ends. So I hope you guys enjoyed what me and Batwing came up with together. And here's the thing, like we have different opinions on things, but like with this, we just can't deny what like the truth. Like all the things that we said just now are very true, and we both agree on it, like I said in the beginning of this video. And I hope you agree with some of the things that we said in this video as well. And just whether you're a Marvel or a DC fan, I don't care. Like I like both. I could say that I like Marvel better though, like that's what I say, but I just really enjoy both of them. They have compelling characters, and they do really good job like just showing off those characters. And it's just with that, like I'm at a loss of words, okay? So I'm just gonna leave it as this. Marvel and DC are both very successful companies, and what they do like what they do with success, very much success. So with that, I bid you guys farewell. There's not really much else that I have to tell you guys. Like, if you disagree with anything that we have said in this video, please tell me. I would love to hear it. Please, just like, whether you're agreeing with me or arguing with me, just tell me. Just tell me everything. I don't care what it is. Just tell me, okay? And at that, I say goodbye, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope I get to make another one like this. So at that, I say goodbye.